Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Art Boss Challenge. I am connecting everything to all of our platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of those fun places. So let me make sure everything is working. And we're going to start the Art Boss Challenge. So everything's connecting, making sure we're all good and to go here. Welcome to the Art Boss Challenge. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here today. Really just making sure that everything is connected, all the tech is working before we jump in here today. And yeah, just waiting for everything to connect. Okay, so while everything's connecting, just going to, first of all, welcome you to the Art Boss Challenge. Oh my goodness, we have updated the challenge this time, and there's such amazing content in here. And I'm just gonna say it, I'm super excited. So hey, while we're waiting for everything to connect, and I'm seeing that we have some folks here, so I believe that everything is playing. I am looking for it in my stream, and for some reason on my device I'm not seeing the feed yet, but that's okay. We're just going to keep on going. So, all right. Welcome to the Art Boss Challenge. My name is Ren, and we are here at Team Art Boss. We're here to support, okay, to support serious artists who want to answer the question, how do I sell more of my artwork? That's it. That's as simple as it is. That's as simple as it gets. And once again, oh my goodness, I'm not sure why this isn't showing up on my, I'm going to restart my Facebook because I want to be able to read your comments. Okay. We're here to support artists who are serious about selling more artwork online without being chained to your computers, without having to lug all your artwork across like a cornfield to set up an art show that has no one who comes to it, without having to be struggling with galleries, or if you're wanting to know, how do I continue to sell and sell inside of my Facebook and my online, like trying to set up Facebook and multitasking. I'm just going to turn it off because I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. All right. So if you are an artist who wants to know how to create more income from the gold mine, we're going to talk about this, the gold mine that you have in front of you, then my friends, you're in exactly the right place. So I'm going to pop back over to another one of the options here. Okay, making sure I'm streaming in the right group. That's one thing. I'm not sure exactly what is going on. I want to make sure everything is working before I jump into everything. Okay. I see 35 people here. So that is great. You guys, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that we have so many folks here this morning, but I just want to make sure like it's not showing up. Hey, Katie, I'm gonna like pull a little my tech person, Miss Katie. Katie, can you see this in your stream when you go to the Facebook group? Because it is not showing up in my Facebook group stream. Okay, I'm gonna refresh this and see what's happening over here. All right, there we go. Finally. Okay, perfect. Oh, awesome. Sorry for the little tech challenge for those of you who are here today. You know what? I love tech. It helps me save time. I love tech. It helps me like get to more people, sell more art, make more sales. But then there's sometimes when it just like goes a little haywire. So we can start fresh. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Art Boss Challenge. I'm super excited that you're here. My name is Rena Uha, and my team, all the folks here at the Art Boss Formula, we've been working really hard to create an amazing experience for you this week. We support artists who want to have the answer to the question, how do I sell more of my artwork? You know that your artwork is amazing. You know that it people tell you all the time that they love what you're doing. But if what you're doing and all the work that you're doing doesn't match your bank account, that's what we do. We support artists who want the simplest and fastest path to consistent income without being chained to your computer, right? Without having to lug your artwork all over town to try to sell it, without having to deal with gallery politics, without having to do all of those crazy things that we're doing right now, trying to jump through hoops in order to get our sales going. So you're in exactly the right place if you want the answers to how do I sell more? Okay. So inside of the comments, just go ahead and say, I want to sell more. Okay. That's all we really need to be saying. I want to sell more. And while you're doing that, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, a like, a heart, say hello, tell us where you're from. Okay. Say, hi, my name's Ren and I'm from Ohio. And I want to know where you guys are from. You might be from, we're going to have some people from London. Maybe you're from London. Maybe you're from Australia. We have people from all around the world. I would love for you guys to see this is a community of artists. We're all walking the same path. And I want you to see all the support that you have here at the Art Boss Challenge comes not only from my team, but it also comes from the other artists who are walking the same path and who want the same goals as that you do. Okay. So let me see if I can grab some of the comments, see who's here. Debbie is here from Florida. We've got Paul from Houston. Dave, I want to sell more. Absolutely. We have Kelly Jo from Phoenix. And you guys keep letting us know where you are. Again, we're a community of like-minded business owners who are all walking the same path. And this is super important for us to make sure that we're not hanging out in groups of artists who are complaining about being starving. We want to be inside of a group of artists who are doing the work, getting the results, and willing to share what they've learned. Because many times we're like, oh my gosh, I just had this happen. I don't know what to do. And someone's like, I just had that happen too. And this is what I did. So guys, this is amazing. You're amazing. And I also want to kind of stress that, you guys, there hasn't ever, we're going to dig into this, been a time in history where it's been so easy to sell our artwork. Okay, I want you to think back. It's not been that long since the e-commerce and the online market really became available to small businesses like us. Okay. And if you go back 20 years where we just only had galleries and shows, or you go back 100 years where you had to go to the right art academies in order to get invited to the right shows and you had to know the right people, there literally has never been a time in history where we have access to so many buyers. Okay. We're going to unpack this. I'm talking millions upon millions of people that if they saw your artwork and understood the value of your artwork, it's limitless. It's limitless. Okay. So if you want to figure out your sales problem, okay, you're in the right place. Okay. If your inventory keeps on getting bigger while your bank account keeps on going down, because creating new artwork isn't free, right? We know that it's not free. Okay. But I want you to think about this. Okay. You have a gold mine, and that's called your artwork. I want you to look around. Okay. So I'm in an office today. I'm not inside of my art studio today, but I want you to look around your studio. I want you to look around your home, and I want you to add up what that inventory is worth. Okay. I'm talking about what you'd like to sell it for. Many of you, you're going to add it up and it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars. And for some of you, hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory and the opportunity to create new commissions and pieces of artwork for people if you just knew what you needed to do to sell more artwork. Okay. So many business owners are one step away from huge sales, consistent sales that allow for you to live. We're going to talk about this, what we call the hashtag artist life. Okay. This is exactly what we're going to do today. This is exactly what we're going to do during the challenge. We're going to claim the solution. We're going to see what mistakes, no, not mistakes. We're going to see what you're missing in your current sales process so that you can turn that gold mine into cash in the bank. Okay, so I want you to think back, all those miners who used to mine the gold mine, they would pull it out of the rivers or out of the mountains, and it wasn't worth anything until they got it to the bank and it became one of the gold bullions, right? So we need to make sure we're doing that. Okay, so let's go back to, there's never been a time in history to sell your artwork. We have millions upon millions of people at our fingertips. Okay, so we have the ability, just in Facebook alone, 2 billion people check in daily into Facebook on a daily basis. Do you think your buyers are in there? And I'm going to tell you, yes, they are. I'm also going to tell you, we still have access to galleries. We still have access to shows. We still have so many options to to sell our artwork. Okay. But this wasn't like, the online market wasn't available even back in 2020. I remember back in 2020. Do you know why I remember? Is because my husband was working for Walmart, and he was on the marketing analyst team that was looking at Amazon, who was a forerunner. They were out there selling lots of great stuff on, like, online. They had no retail stores. Then you had Walmart, who had all retail stores, and they were like, oh my gosh, if we don't figure this out, Amazon's going to kick our butt. And so they were trying to get online, and they were trying to figure it out 6 years ago. Like, my husband's coming to me and going, you guys are selling a lot of artwork online. How are you doing that? Because there was a shift in the marketplace where everyone started trusting the internet. Okay. Before, like, 2020, people, yeah, you could buy things, but buying things from a small business owner, it was the trust in the marketplace. Okay. It wasn't the trust in the business owner. It's like, well, how does this all work? Okay. So fast forward, we now have the opportunity to continue to sell in our galleries, sell even more, continue to sell in our shows, sell even more, and now leverage the power of the internet. Okay. You are at risk. Your business is at risk because most of the businesses I talk to, okay, so I talk to probably 10 or 15 artists every single week. It's just what I get to do every single week. I count that as one of my blessings. And when I ask them, like, what's keeping you stuck? Okay, most of the time they're saying something like, I see that lots of people are selling shit, selling stuff online. They're selling socks for cats. They're selling huge mansions and castles in England, but why can't I sell my artwork? Okay. They're also saying, pretty sure if I just got my artwork, if it was just better, I would sell more. Or they're telling me, I think my problem is my price is too high, or, is it reasonably priced? We're going to chat about that. But, or like, no one gets me. My clients are just whirly squirrely and I just can't figure this out. Okay. So we're going to stop right here. And I want you to claim this. Okay. I want you to write this down in your workbook. We're going to talk about the workbook in a minute. Say, my art is amazing. Your art is amazing. Your artwork is important. And your artwork has a power to transform the world. That is why you can sell more in shows. You can sell more in galleries. You can sell more in your social media. You can sell more off of your website, and you can sell more in all the places in the online market. Okay. So here's a little kind of truth bomb. I want you to think through. We're going to start unpacking this. I'm going to start making a case for this. You think you're selling right now. Okay. If you're out there posting all the time and you have websites and you're going to shows and you're in galleries, okay, you think you're selling. But if you're not closing sales, then you're only doing one part of the sales process. Most likely you're only promoting your artwork. Okay. I just need for you to absorb that for a second. We're going to unpack it. We're going to show you exactly what you need to do. We're going to talk about how you can have a system that allows for you to close more sales. Okay. So we're going to start right here. When you truly believe that your artwork is important, when you believe that's important, that your work has the ability to transform the world, that it has the ability to make your personal life better, it has the ability to make the lives of the people who view it. We're jumping into all this. And it also has the ability to shape and change the way that our culture is perceived in the future. Okay. When you believe that it's that important, you will do whatever it takes to get it into the hands of the people, because you recognize that it has the power to bring yourself personal freedom and also provide happiness, support, love, connection for your future buyers. So say, when you believe this. You'll stop making excuses for not taking action. Instead, you'll look for the resources that you need to understand so that the actions you take lead to the results you want, which means making more money. Okay. This challenge is about taking action. You must take action during the challenge. I'm going to be giving you homework. I'm going to be giving you questions. We're going to be having the ability to work with me and my team for free during this week and one-on-one calls. This is amazing stuff that we're doing. Okay. Because when you take action, that's when you have the ability to calculate and have measurable data that allow for you to get the results and measure your results, then make the adjustments that you need. Okay. Does that sound good? Does anyone want to be like, yeah, that sounds good? Or you're like, that doesn't sound good. I'm out of here. So it's like totally up to you. Okay. I'm like, yes, you have a gold mine. Yes, your artwork's important. Yes, your artwork is amazing. Thank you for typing that into the comments. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about all the different ways that we learn here, and when we actually activate. Not just, I'm going to be giving you lots of ways to hear audio. I'm going to visual learning, but kinetic is super important. So writing down some of these things is super important. Okay, because in fact, literally, having art sales changes lives. Okay. Your clients are better off after they have your artwork than before. If you don't believe that, you better start believing that. Okay. Every single day, they get a hit of dopamine. They don't even know there's a chemical reaction happening behind that. They hit a dopamine. They remember a wonderful place. They get like 1 minute of happiness a day. Oh my gosh, sign me up. If my artwork, all it does is every single day that they view it, they get 1 minute of happiness. I'm giving and transforming the world. Okay. What about Steffi? You're going to be meeting Steffi. She retired in 2024, and she came to me and she's like, look, I have a pension. I mean, it's a decent pension, but I have this artwork and this ability to continue to make money. I'm young still. She goes, I can still make money. And when we started working together, like she was like selling one piece every quarter for $200. And within 3 months, we had already gotten her to raise her price to $1,800, and she was closing 3 pieces of artwork a month. So she was like, okay, I'd be happy to make $600 by the end of the year. Right. And by 2025, she was making almost $6,000 every single month. Okay. So it changes lives, because when you have the ability, she's like, I want to travel. And now she can travel, guiltlessly travel, right? Or what about Cindy? Cindy has a heart for Belize and giving back to the country, and she loves to tithe there. And so when she started selling more and more of her artwork, she came back and she's like, oh my gosh, this month I tithed more to my Belize charity than I made all of last year. And so even though she was like a little worried and stressed out about raising her price, when she did that, when she had a system and a strategy and the tools that allowed her, she was like, I just tithed what I made all of last year with my artwork. Or Kate, who experienced the kind of crash in the galleries and the shows. And she was like, I used to make serious cash, and I barely eked out $5,000 last year. But after working with us for 6 months, she reported I made $80,000 after I had the system, just within 6 months. Okay. So tell me in the comments. Okay. Tell me in the comments, what is your biggest question about selling artwork? Okay. I'm going to be going and grabbing some of those questions. They're really helpful for me to make sure that I'm adjusting the presentation and the training so that I'm covering what you need. Okay. So who here wants to learn about websites? Type that in the comments. Who here wants to learn about that? Okay. Let me make sure I'm good here. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Katie. Katie Ford's here, by the way. She is Team Art Boss, and she is providing support and answering questions. Okay. So while you guys are typing in the chat, I just want you to know that she's sending me some of the questions, and she's giving me some of the updates of what's going on. Okay. So, all right. Who wants to know about social media? Who wants to know about finding more buyers? Who wants to know more about selling more during your shows and even going home and selling more after you've packed up? What about selling more in galleries? What about finding more galleries? Okay. So just put that in the comments. Tell me about, like, what's your biggest question about selling? Tell me what you want. Okay. Tell me what you want. So before we get started, we're just making sure that we're letting everyone into the Facebook group and just checking back to make sure we don't have anyone who is, I'm going to approve the folks who are waiting outside in the waiting room. And we're going to pop back here. Okay. All right. Awesome. And this 1 second too, because that off. Okay, perfect. Now I can see galleries. All right. Social media, please. I would love to know if, oops, it jumped. I would love to know if I should put a bunch of effort into website as I've neglected. I think that's, I think that's what it said. Lots of comments are coming in really fast. That's okay. Keep putting them in there. We love seeing what you're working on, and we want to make sure that you have everything you need to be successful, not only today, but like in your business forever. Okay. So, before we jump in to the training, we're headed to the training. I believe that gratitude is the birthplace of success. So we're going to take a minute and we're going to do a little bit of gratitude. And I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to unpack the question pretty much during the whole entire challenge. And I'm going to say, to keep it short, in 3 words, type in the comments, why are you an artist? Just 3 words. Put them inside of the comments, okay? Because that's really important to make sure that we know why we're doing this. Because why are you an artist? If you don't know why you're an artist, why do you want to sell your artwork? Okay. Why do you want to spend the time to selling your artwork? Because if you are an artist and you believe in what you do, okay, you're going to be able to unapologetically charge a price that reflects the value of your artwork. So in the comments, go ahead and do that. I'm going to come back, circle back to a lot of this. We're going to talk about it during the presentation and during the training. Okay. You're going to love this. You're going to love all this. If you've not been here before, okay, what we're doing with artists, how we're updating their websites, how we're creating income streams that come in after your show is closed, after you pack everything up and sending out an email campaign that closes 40K the week after is amazing. The ability to take your gold mine and turn it into a cash flow is something that's really unique for you. Okay. So I want you to know that today's training, everything that we're talking about, okay, it builds on one another. You have to watch day 1 before day 2 will make sense. And then you need to watch day 2 before day 3 will make sense. Today, I'm going to share with you the whole entire sales formula, the whole entire, like, step-by-step what you need to be doing. Because then over the next 2 days, we're going to be digging into each one of those steps. Everything's available in replay. That's why I like running these in Facebook group, because you can come back, you can watch the training as many times as you want to. But on Friday, all the training will come down, and we'll, and next week, then we'll start working with people who want to continue to work with us. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to pull up my presentation, make sure it's here. I have to go get the presentation. Here we go. All right. If this is your first challenge, okay, this course is not about tips and tricks. Okay. It's about actionable steps. What I'm going to show you over the next 3 days is not based on theory. Okay. It has been proven for artists and online business owners. They use it to sell products and services. Okay. What do I mean about that? Okay. A product is like your artwork. A service is if maybe you're an art teacher and you teach people how to create, this works for you. Maybe you're a healer and you create the healing training or creativity training, and then it's also aligned with your artwork. That works for you. Maybe you're a yoga teacher. Maybe you teach singing lessons. This works for everyone. We're going to be able to sell more art in your social media. We're going to be able to sell more art and services, right, in your galleries. We're going to be able to sell more art and services in your shows. We're going to be able to sell more art services off of your website, okay? And we not only show you how, but we're also going to show you the tools that allow for you to do this quickly without being chained to your computer, without being like overwhelmed with your tools are working for you while you're in your studio, while you're hanging out with your family on the weekend, while you're on vacation. Okay. So many of these tools are free. Okay. And if you're not using them, or better yet, you're not using them right, you're going to miss out on sales. Or worse yet, you're going to scare people away because you're not using them correctly. Okay. This art sales course called the Art Boss Challenge, it's worth thousands of dollars. Okay. Just because I'm offering it for free doesn't mean that it doesn't have any value. So there's going to be someone who says, well, I'd rather go to lunch with a friend today. And since that's free, I'll just wait till the next time. Okay. That's fine. Okay. But here's what's going to happen is you're going to find this course and have to pay thousands for it. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I could have gotten that for free. So why are we doing this for free? Okay. It's so foundational, and I can't even help you diagnose why you're not selling until you understand how to sell, until you can understand what in the foundational level you need to be doing. Okay. So you're going to, at the end of the week, be like, oh, I got that for free. Thank goodness I didn't have to purchase that. Okay. And for those of you who want to learn how to sell, who want to learn how to find your buyers and walk them down the path like it's the most natural thing in the world, my friend, you're in the right place. That's exactly what we're going to do. Okay. So I'm going to make this bigger for a second because I want you just like wrong one. I want you to see this. Okay. Your art has the power to transform the world. Let's unpack it. Your artwork has the power to heal. I talk to so many artists who are like, if it wasn't for art, I don't know what I would do. It's a way for me to release stress, a way for me to connect with the world. It's a way for me to actually express myself through nonverbal ways, right? I can take a concept, an idea, and I can turn it into a beautiful piece of artwork that says so much more than words ever could. It allows for you to create healing and comfort for yourself. We also know artists who sell their artwork report that their clients say, oh my gosh, your artwork makes me happy. Your artwork, every time I see it, makes me remember a beautiful memory. Your artwork looks fabulous in my design decor. Okay. They don't even know it, but what they're getting is a hit of dopamine. They're getting that happy chemical that makes you feel the same way. We get it when we're falling in love. Okay. We get a hit of dopamine. Your artwork will also be what defines our culture in years to come. If you look back through history, so many cultures that don't exist anymore, but we know about their culture because of their artwork. The cavemen, the Etruscans, all of the cultures that no longer are here, but their artwork survived. So if you're going to tell me, nah, artwork isn't that important, okay, I'm not going to convince you. I'm just going to tell you this is the most foundational thing that you need in your business. Okay, I'm going to pop back here. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, you're good enough to sell now. No one's going to walk up to you and give you a big badge that says you're an art expert. Okay. You need to claim it, and you need to claim it before you can start selling. Okay. So those of us who've been doing this for a while, we already know this. Okay. I'm preaching to the choir for those of you who've been doing this for 20 years. You're just looking for the solution to be able to sell more. Okay. We'll kind of come back to sometimes, even if we've been doing this for decades, sometimes we have to reclaim our power and how transformative this is. Okay. So all this starts with believing that your art has a power to transform. And I'm going to say, give me some fire in the comments. And for those of you who've been here before, you know that what we love here is the fire emoji. If someone, I don't know, Katie Ford, if you can go put the emoji in the comments, just kind of show everyone what we're talking about. I want you to drop some fire. Okay. Pop it into the comments. This is what it does. We talked a little bit about how we're learning. I'm going to be pulling up a presentation. You're going to learn visually. We're learning audio. I mean, if you haven't started taking notes, there's tons of content already that I'm giving to you guys. Okay. So and then when you start writing things, we turn our learning kinetic. So we're tying things with what's important when we write it down. And that fire emoji is also another way to activate our kinetic learning, as well as when other people put fire, you're like, wait, that was transformative and that information was important to someone else. It'll clue you in. Okay. So don't be afraid. I'm going to be asking you for fire. Go ahead and put the fire inside of the comments. It also allows for me to know when we're on target, when what we're providing is helpful, so that we can continue to give you more of that kind of information. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here. Let me pull this up. We're just going to do a couple slides of housekeeping before we jump in. The Art Boss schedule is here. Okay, so day one, that's today, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. We're going to be running the Art Boss Challenge. Everything is available until Friday, except for those who purchase the VIP upgrade, but it's available till Friday. Okay, and then all of the training will be removed. Okay, so here's your workbook. Okay, we delivered this on Thursday and it's sitting right inside of this group. Okay, you have access to this workbook. Amazing stuff. If you haven't opened it yet, we're going to kind of just walk through a couple things. I want to show you that your schedule right here is what I just showed you before. Also, you have resources that you have access to right here. Lots of room to take notes. Okay, I want you to be able to take lots of notes. And we're going to be, the very next thing we're going to be looking at is your Art Boss Challenge workbook. Okay, so that's what starts your training, and we're just about to jump into that. Okay, so we're here every single day. Okay, for the next 3 days, and then there's these beautiful bonus sessions that are going to be happening on Thursday and Friday. Okay, so let me pop back here and grab this. What else? Replays. Okay, a lot of people are like, well, I'm a little bit too busy. Okay, so here's the thing. Life happens. We know that. You're business people. You got stuff going on, work-life balance. So there are access to replays. I encourage you to watch the replays over and over. If there's an area where you're still trying to unpack, watch it again. Okay. Also, we're providing on Friday a laser focused coaching call. That call will be, the link will be provided to you tomorrow so that you can grab that link and you can start preparing to get to the one-on-one calls that we're providing. Your workbook, it's also located inside of that Facebook group. It's at the banner. If you click on the banner, I put the arrow right almost over my face. It said workbook here. Click on the banner and you'll get to the link. It's in the guides. It's all over the post. For like 3 days, I was like, here's your workbook. Here's your workbook. Here's your workbook. And if you're interested in still grabbing the VIP upgrade, okay, that's where you work with me and my team for 5 additional hours. You have a month additional access to all the training, and we pulled the some additional training out of the academy for you. Plus, you have a sales booster call. It's like 7 hours of one-on-one time with me and my team. Okay, so you're going to have access to be able to purchase the VIP upgrade. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to remove the VIP access after tonight because then we're in the challenge and I don't want you missing a day of training. Okay, so you're getting, okay, this is what you're getting. The challenge is about training, right? Knowledge. You have to take action and implement it in order to get results. So for those of you who are serious, we're working with a much smaller group. I would estimate we're working with close to 3,000 artists this week who want to know how to sell. They want the answer to how do I sell more artwork. We're working with a much smaller group of people who are actually willing to take the action steps that lead to the results. Okay, so it is a package that is worth over $500 and you have access to it for $67. Okay, so if you type this into your browser, you can go ahead and sign up for the VIP package only for today, only during the challenge. It gives you access to me. Okay, so instead of being on Facebook Lives, we're going to be in a Zoom room. So that's what we're doing. Everybody gets a bonus today. Okay, pretty much every single day. If you show up live, I'm going to be giving you a bonus. If you watch the training, you get the bonus. If you don't watch the training, then you don't get the bonus because you don't know about it, right? So you just need to stay till the end of training and I'll be giving you, everybody here, that bonus. We're also going to save some time at the end for a Q&A session. But I want you to know that you have a lot of support here from Team Art Boss. You can ask questions in the comments. Katie Ford, and I believe Shauna is here too. Shauna St. James is here. They will be providing directions on what you need to be doing, how you get additional support. You can always leave those in the comments. I'm going to save right about 15 minutes at the end of this training for just some basic Q&A session, and then I'll give you the heads up when that's coming. Okay, so don't post questions for me yet. Okay, because we're going to be doing that in a minute. Okay, so here's my promise to you. I will deliver as much value as humanly possible in 3 days, 3 hours, right? I'm going to show you the exact sales plan, the exact system that you need to close 6 figures in art sales and beyond. And if you don't want 6 figures, that's fine. It still works. Okay. So the framework that I'm sharing, it's not based on theory. It's not like when you go to college and they're like, well, here are the 4 P's of marketing. Everything's been tested and proven to work. Okay. It works for all businesses. I already kind of talked about that. It works for artists to sell artwork, art teachers to sell teaching. If you're a healer or an energy healer, I'm trying to think of a creative coach, and you combine that with your artwork, amazing. It works amazing. Okay. So why do I do all this for free? Okay. Because you need the foundational knowledge before you can ever start increasing sales. You need this foundational knowledge before I can ever start helping you diagnose what you're missing. You need to be able to see it for yourself before I just start pointing tips and tricks. Okay. That's why I don't do tips and tricks. Okay. Tips and tricks don't work because if you don't understand the whole entire big picture, tips and tricks are useless because you're probably using that knowledge in the wrong way. Okay. But why are so many art businesses still struggling to make all this work? Okay. We know that very undersaturated market. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. Maybe it's because they don't have a business degree. Go back here. Maybe it's because they don't have a business degree. Maybe you can go to school for 4 years, get a marketing degree or a business degree, but I'm going to tell you, they still don't teach funnel strategy, how to write email campaigns that close 40K the week after you come home from an art show, how to create a CRM, and how to really set up a strong social media campaign. They don't teach you that. Okay. So here's the great news. This is just a skill set and you can learn it. You can go to school for 4 years, or you can learn this in a matter of weeks or months and start bringing in the income instead of spending money on a 4-year degree, right? I just sent 3 kids to college. If you send a kid to college, you know that colleges are popping up to the 6-figure mark and more. Okay. So guys, let's think about this. Selling is just a skill set. It's something that you can learn. Okay. And it's just like your creative skill set. And many of us forget this because if you're like me, right, when you put in, why are you an artist? I'm guarantee you someone said, I was born to be an artist. It's in my DNA. Okay. I can't remember a time when I wasn't drawing pet portraits or just doodling or drawing. Okay. And sometimes we forget because we've been doing this so long that we had to build a skill set to get to where we are. And my friends, it's the same exact thing when you're selling artwork. You have to just have a skill set. Okay. You have to learn it. You have to acquire it. You have to, just like you practice creating new artwork, you have to practice selling. Okay. So this stuff, okay, this challenge today, what we're doing is for you. Okay. This is for you if there's a little caveat. We're going to have a little caveat. Okay. This is for you if you haven't sold anything yet. Okay. But if you haven't sold anything yet, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. Why? Why haven't you sold anything yet? If you haven't even tried, okay, we found your sales problem already. Okay. Because again, no one's going to tap you on the shoulder. No one's going to give you permission. No one's going to say, oh, it's time to start selling your artwork. You have to do something. And if you're unwilling to try and you're unwilling to take action, I'm going to say, then maybe this isn't for you. Okay. Maybe this isn't the right place for you. Okay. But if you're willing to take action and you just haven't tried yet, but you're looking for what you need to do, okay, great. You're in the right place. I'm also going to say, if you haven't sold yet, but you're trying, I'm like, kudos. Maybe you have a website. Maybe you're posting online. Maybe you're in galleries, but you're just not closing any sales yet. Okay. Maybe you're trying to get in galleries. Maybe you're trying to get into those shows. Okay. You are taking action, and I want you to pat yourself on the back, claim the win. Kudos to you. Here's the thing. You think you're selling, Okay. But you're actually just doing only one part of the sales process. Okay. Maybe you're just promoting, or maybe you're just building all your resources. Okay. Posting's not selling. Having a website isn't selling. Being in a gallery isn't selling, it's promoting. Okay. It's having the tools you need to promote your artwork, but promoting isn't selling. It's just a component of it. Okay. So posting, I'm going to give you a little art metaphor because I think that can be really helpful sometimes. Posting and not selling is like an artist who goes out and buys all kinds of art supplies, brushes, paints, the canvases, but then they don't open any of them and wonder why they don't have a masterpiece. Okay. I know, sounds silly. You're thinking, well, what artist wouldn't know that? Okay. Remember, you've been doing this for a long time and you know that there are steps in your creation process. Okay. So when we're selling our artwork, sometimes you're just missing a step or three. Okay. You're in the right place, is what I want you to know for the challenge. Okay. If you're selling to friends and family, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, we're selling. You're selling. Your offer converts. That's amazing. Okay. People are telling you your artwork is amazing. But here's the issue. You know that your pool of people is pretty small, and eventually that pool will run out. And so if you're not putting more people into your audience and into your selling system, you're gonna run out of people to sell to, or you just may be doing your sales system in the wrong order. Okay. Fabulous. Now we know. Okay. If you're selling to galleries, you're in those big shows like Laguna in the Kansas City Plaza, and some of the big shows that spend millions of dollars in marketing to get people to come to see your artwork. Okay. You're winning awards. Your artwork is amazing. But here's the thing, you're not selling enough. Or maybe you're seeing a shift in the marketplace where you're like, I need to make sure that I'm not like some of the other artists who have shared horror stories about like having their galleries go out of business, their sales collapse simply because they didn't have the ability to control the whole entire process. So I've worked and talked to so many artists, and just last week I talked to an artist who was like, "Man, back in 2023, I closed $100,000 in shows, and then this year I'm barely eking out 5K. Like I haven't made hardly anything, and I don't know what to do. And now I don't have any cash income to be able to invest in growing my business. So she's just going to quit." Okay, so if you're like, "I don't want that to happen," okay, it's time. It's time to figure out the online gig. It's time to figure out how to get more galleries. Okay. It's time to figure out how to get more shows. Also, I talk to artists who report what I like to call the gallery burn. Okay. And the gallery burn, like I just talked to an art boss last week, and she's working in gallery. She's doing shows. She sells online. She has a very robust business. And she took one of her clients into a gallery where she had her artwork, and she walked them through the gallery, and she actually sold another artist piece of artwork to him, like didn't sell her own artwork. And the gallery owner was so offended that she brought that client in, and then it was inappropriate to sell someone else's art at full price on the ticket. And so she got kicked out. Okay. It's called a gallery burn. She's like, "What did I do wrong?" I'm like, "You didn't do anything wrong. You just weren't a match for that business." She's like, "Well, I took my artwork, and since I had a contract I couldn't sell in the same city, I just went about 20 minutes down the street to a gallery I had found that I really wanted to be in, and they accepted my art right away, and I've already closed one of my sales." And so I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's just stuff happens, right? What about show burnout? Okay, how many people do multiple like art shows during the year where you have to pack up your car, you have to drive, you're lucky if you're just driving across town, but you're driving across country, you're unpacking, it takes days. You've like a lot of times you're doing it by yourself, or you're grabbing your kids and trying to get them to set up your booth with you and for you. And then just to maybe close a couple sales, like where you're like, I just closed, I didn't break even after I drove out there, gas, food, hotel, all the artwork that I brought with me. I didn't break even. Okay. It was just a total bust. What about that? Okay. I mean, like literally, do you want to be like Kate, who she does a lot of shows and she makes serious money at her shows? She had one that kind of busted, but she had the tools that allowed for her to do lead generation there. She sent out an email campaign the week after and closed $40,000 in sales. Okay. So she's like, oh, okay. Right. Like it was worth it again. The new names and the new contacts. We have to plan for our future business. Otherwise, it will die. Okay. This is what we're doing this week, and you're in the right place. Okay, this isn't for you if, just a little caveat, and I'm going to say it quickly. I always have to say it at least once. Okay, this is just a warning. We do not tolerate in this safe space. Okay, we've created a safe space, like-minded artists. We're all hanging out here. We can ask questions. We can post our artwork. Warning, we tolerate no bullying, no rudeness, and no general unkind behavior. Okay, I wish I didn't have to say this, and I wish I didn't have to do it. Okay, you will not be warned again. You will simply be kicked out, removed from the group. No apologies for removing you because you were unkind. Okay. So I said it there for all of you. I love you. I love being able to do this with you, but please. Okay. So love you. Love you. Okay. Let's come back to this question that I asked you. Okay. Because here's what I want for your businesses. I want more business awesomeness. Like Kate, who moved from 5K to 80K in 6 months, like Steffi, who raised her price from $200 to $2,000. And now I talked to her last week. She's coming up on $3,000 for the same artwork that she was selling last year. Maybe you want to walk away from a corporate gig. Maybe you're just like, you have a bunch of side hustles. You just want to be a full-time artist. Okay. Why are you an artist? And I'm going to pop back and I'm going to read some of those comments from earlier and see why are you an artist? Okay. All right. My comments aren't going back that far, unfortunately, but that's okay because, oh, thanks for the fire, because I kind of know what your answers are going to be. Okay. I've asked this question enough and it allows for me to really get an understanding of what drives you. And I love this. So I'm going to be reading all the comments after this. But why are you an artist? Okay. Because this is about more possibilities. You're an artist because it's in your DNA. And I'm going to say this right now. It's a skill set that's very unique. A small population of the world have the skill sets that we do. And if you're not claiming it, oh my gosh. Okay. It's in your DNA. We know that our artwork is powerful. It connects us to people. It brings healing, serenity, peace, joy, calm. I know all these words are in here. Energy. I know that everyone who put comments in here, these are the words, okay? We know that people need our artwork, okay? Especially those people who weren't born to be artists, which is most of the world, okay? We forget how special what we do is. Okay. So here's a question. If you know why you want to be an artist is in your DNA, who or what do you blame for your lack of sales? Pop over here. Inside of your workbook, right after this is day 1, okay? Little question here about who do you blame? Okay, who do you blame? Be honest or write it in here. If you're like, I don't want to put that in the comments, write it in here, put it in here. Like, who do you blame for your art? Do you blame the internet? Do you blame whirly squirrely buyers? Do you blame your artwork? Or do you blame your system or lack of a system, right? So let me pop this back up over here and there we go. Okay, here they are. Here are the questions. Which one is it? Okay, it doesn't matter what your answer is. We're going to touch base at the end of the challenge. We're going to see where you are after the challenge, okay? Because here is something that can break your business. If you are blaming your quality of artwork for your lack of sales, you are at risk for your business breaking. And right here, okay? I don't care if you've been selling just for 2 weeks, or you've been selling for 2 decades. You will be tempted to blame your artwork for your lack of sales. Okay. So when we stop doing that, it allows for us to start, I mean, like raising our price, unapologetically charging a price that reflects the value of our artwork. And these are some of the things that I hear. I mean, I talk to people every single week. They tell me these things. Okay. They ask, the price of my artwork reasonable? Okay. So they're not blaming they're like, I'm not blaming my price. Is it reasonable? And I'm going to say, reasonable for who? Like, is it reasonable for you? Are you painting like a gorgeous piece of artwork and undercharging for it and just making pennies per hour? And you're asking me, is it reasonable for my client? Like for the person who wants to buy it? I'm bad at promoting myself. That's another, my artwork isn't good enough. Every time I post, people love it. But when it comes to sales, nada, da, 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 right? It's like, well, if no one wants it and I'm posting it, then obviously it's my artwork. There's no other reason in the world why I'm not selling more. Or what about this one? Life got crazy, so I quit for now. Okay. So an art business that has the ability to run itself can help you bridge when personal life gets crazy. That's what I'm here to. I'll share more stories. I'll share a lot more about like how and why I'm here and all of like there's crazy up and down, fun stories, sad stories, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, you can see it's been a slow year. I'm hoping for Q4 to be better. I've taken a step back. Okay. I bet you wish you didn't ask. Okay. Every single week, if your artwork shows in my feed, I give you social media and then I check on you. I'm like, how's it going? How are sales? And this is why, because I know as artists, if we don't have a community of people who care about us and are surrounding us with positive energy, we're at risk for blaming our artwork. Okay. So no, I love when you tell me what's going on because it allows for me to be able to provide free support that allows for you to make sure you're claiming your best #artist life. I like this one too, I'm not great at self-promotion, all of those things that happen when we are blaming our artwork. So if any of that sounds familiar, you can put in the comments like preaching to the choir, girl, or you can say, oh my gosh, so true. Okay. Because I want you to know this is normal for our brain to go here, but this shouldn't stop our businesses. And if we have the ability to like see our system, we're going to be able to get out of this place really quickly. Okay. Because if you don't fix this problem, your business will fail. It's going to break. And it breaks so foundationally, so much at the core of who you are. There's no way to fix it. Okay. So we're talking about this. Okay. We're talking about how do we sell more artwork online. And I want to spend just a minute really kind of going into that beautiful art metaphor. I want you guys to see this. Posting your artwork. I'm even going to insert in here, having a website, being at galleries, doing shows without sales is like having all the supplies that you need. You go out and you buy your art supplies. Okay. You go out, okay, and you buy all your supplies and you know that you have like an idea or an inspiration photo or a concept, and then you pick the right size canvas and then you start putting a composition on it and then you start choosing your color palette and then you start the play zone, right? Because creating that skill set's fun because we've been doing it so long. We've got the skill set. It's fun now. And we create this beautiful piece of artwork, okay? So I want you to think about this. If a new artist came to you and said, oh my gosh, your art is amazing. How do you do it? I have bought new brushes and I bought new paints and I bought canvases and I have a studio and I don't have a masterpiece yet and I don't know why. And you're like, okay, well, so tell me a little bit about when you're mixing your colors, what happens? And they're like, what do you mean mixing my colors? They're like, I haven't opened my tubes of paint yet. And you're like, okay, well, you need to open your tubes of paint. If they don't open their tubes of paint, you can't help them anymore, right? So the same things, my friends, happens when you're selling. You have to have the exact steps that you need in order to sell your artwork. You need to have the tools, you need to have the knowledge, and you need to practice. Okay. So I understand this. Okay. Totally get it. Okay. I was in sales for years. I was in big corporate sales. I sold truckloads of paper. I sold printing. By the way, both of those industries have pretty much gone away. I sold clinical trials. I have sold concept testing. I've pretty much done it all. But then I was like, oh my gosh, how hard could it be to shift over into selling artwork? And I'm going to tell you, when I moved into my own sales, selling my own product, I forgot. This is what I forgot. I didn't realize how much of the heavy lifting of sales was being done by my team. Okay. And when I recognized that all of that heavy lifting that my coworkers in the corporate world and what they were doing, that I now needed to do, and that actually when I did them myself, I could do them better than anyone else, that's what changed my business. But it took me a minute or two or more to figure it out. Okay. And this is what happened. When I realized that I could move to the online market, walk away from art licensing, walk away from the galleries that were, I was getting the gallery burnout, when I was able to walk away from all of those places where people had other agendas and just did it myself, I sold more artwork in a weekend than I did the whole entire year before in my art licensing. And I didn't have to deal with art licensing production teams who were telling me different things than the sales team was telling me. And nobody wanted to get on calls with me and it like share with me, what file size do you need? What do you need? Everybody's like, you should just know it. I'm like, no, I need your file size because your company's different than my other art licensing companies were. So, and the most beautiful thing here is that I could do all of this from the comfort of my home. And I didn't have to lug things to different places. And I was just able to literally, if I wanted to sell my artwork on a weekend and I was still in my jammies, no one knew. Okay. So my name, I know I introduced at the beginning, my name is Rena Uha. Okay. I am blessed to be able to work every single day with such insanely talented artists. Okay. I'm going to be sharing more of my story over the next couple of days, the crazy ups and the crazy downs. Okay. The college degrees, the graphic design degrees, the corporate crazy world. I took a couple years off and our family was moving all the time with my husband's job. So I just took a couple of years off and raised the kids. I launched my own business. I'm in international galleries. I have art licensing contracts. I have all of these things that I did. And the best is what I learned. The best and easiest way to sell my artwork, to sell any product, any service, is just to control your sales system. Because I'm an artist, just like many of you. I don't remember the first time I picked up a pencil and started doing a pet portrait. I'm a business owner. I have 3 businesses that I use this sales system that I'm going to show you. And I'm also a business consultant because I love supporting artists who feel like it's not fair that I'm not selling enough artwork when it's just that you don't have the full entire sales system. Okay. So in the comments, I would love to know more about your artwork too. Tell me a little bit about you. Say, hey, I do acrylics. I'm a oil painter. I'm a singer. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a creative health healer. Just share with what you're doing, because I want you to know that we're in this together, and I've done it all. I've been everywhere. Okay. I've ran galleries. I've been in galleries. All of it. Okay. I sell huge, that bottom right-hand corner. I do huge pieces taller than I am. The top left is a little goldfish on a 4x4 painting, a little chunky monkey painting. I've done the art shows. Look at my family. I don't know if you can see Alex's face at the very top. He's just exhausted. He's like, I don't even want to be here. I'd be like, smile. Hey, this is fun being at art shows, right? Done it all. Okay. And I want you to know that the selling system that we're going to be digging into is the way that we can start unpacking what are our biggest struggles, right? What are your biggest sales struggles? What are you struggling with? It's probably pretty similar to when I asked earlier, what are your biggest questions? Share with me in the comments. I'd love to see what those are. Because if you think you're selling, but you just have a website, but you think you're selling, you're just posting, You think you're selling because you're in galleries. Okay. Selling and promoting are two very different things. They're two different skill sets. Actually, promoting is just a small part of selling. Okay. You're just missing a step. And if you're exhausted doing all of these things and not closing sales, it's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because you're working hard on the wrong things. And there's a huge risk to staying here, being like, I just have all these struggles. Okay. You're going to start doubting yourself. Start doubting yourself. You're going to start doubting your artwork, and then your business is going to fail. Okay. So we're going to be showing you the framework. Okay. I used to spend a lot of time on showing you the framework. The reality is it's pretty easy and simple in this one beautiful image that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I want you to take this like in your notebooks, wherever you're working. This is it. Okay. This is the Art Boss formula. Okay. We go from where we're posting without sales, 0 sales from website, wondering what our pricing is, having to deal with the art show slump, gallery politics, and overall burnout, to where we're just going to be setting up a system that allows for us to sell. All right. So here it is. It's called the Art Boss formula. And it's 3 components. Okay. I used to spend like day one. We talked a lot about the Art Boss formula, and I'm going to give you everything you need right now so that you know exactly what we're doing over the next 2 days. Okay. So this is it. It's set up as a circle intentionally because there's momentum and energy that happens when you run this system. It starts to run itself is the beauty behind this. Okay. So you're always putting new leads into the system. Collect. Okay. You have to collect the names and contact information of the people. Okay. Of the people who want and need your artwork. Then you have to talk to them. That's what connecting means. Okay. You have to talk to them. You have to share the value of your artwork. Okay. We're going to really dig into that tomorrow. And then you have to be making offers, because if you don't make offers, if you're really good at finding people and you're really good at nurturing and giving them everything they need and making them feel good and understanding the value of your artwork, but if you never make an offer, here's what happens. Someone else is going to come in and make an offer, close the sale, and be like, that was the easiest sale I ever made. Yeah, because you did the heavy lifting for them. Okay. So collect, connect, and close. And then we convert that into the art sales system, which allows for us to create a business plan, right? We need to collect leads, connect with the leads, and close the leads. We're going to dig in. Okay. This isn't the only 2 slides, but if you haven't yet, okay, you haven't yet. Oh my gosh. Okay. So right here in the workbook, okay, you're filling in these answers. Step 1, collect the names and contact information of the people who are visually dining on your artwork for free. How many people have you're getting lots of engagement in social media, but no purchases? Okay. We found your problem. We found your problem right here, right here. Okay. So I get really excited. Okay. I'm goofy. I like this stuff. Okay. So let's continue. Alyssa. This is what I love about Alyssa. Alyssa shared, you can see the quality of her artwork, okay? And you can read through this. You can pop this up later and read it in replay. But I want to really point out, okay, that she was like, oh my gosh, just having a community of people that reshifted my mindset from scarcity to abundance. This is the first time I truly believe that she could leave her graphic design job behind and become a full-time artist, okay? So we have to collect leads. Boom. That's it. We have to. This is the thing. This is more than just posting our artwork. Okay. We have to have the mechanisms, the strategies, and the tools that allow for us to get the names, phone numbers, and email addresses when someone visits our websites, when someone sees our social media, when someone comes into our galleries, when someone comes into our shows. Okay. You have to be able to do that. And this is what it feels like. You can help diagnose yourself when it's not working. Okay. When you're doing it wrong. Okay. You're going to say things or think things. People love my stuff, but they never buy. I post all the time, but no sales. I get oohs and ahs at my galleries and shows, but nada, nothing more. I have tons of website visitors. I talk to artists who get 15,000 visitors on their website every single month, but they're like, no sales. Okay. And I'm like, well, can you tell me who they are? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, I just know how many people came. Okay. Here's the big risk for not fixing this problem. You're going to attract the wrong people. Then you're going to start believing when they say, like, that's too expensive, or they say, I don't like your colors, or they say, what do you think that who do you think you are that you can charge that much? Okay. Here's the beautiful thing. When we start creating a system, we can kick those people out. We don't have to listen to them. We don't have to ever hear them say another like negative thing or rude thing about our artwork. We can kick them out. Okay. Here's the great news. There's a solution. Okay. We want you to let me do this because it's covering the words. Okay. We want you to have a toolkit for finding the right buyers who want your artwork and will pay your price. Okay. Call it the Art Buyer Kit. You just need a tool that finds those right people. And they're already saying, tell me more. And in order to tell them more, they're trading for free the contact information. We're going to need a whole day to talk about. I'm like leaning in. We're going to need a whole day to talk about this. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Okay. So the Art Boss formula is amazing. Tomorrow, Art Buyer Kit. We're going to dig into that. Super amazing stuff. Okay. Second step, we have to connect, close. We have to connect with our leads. I mean, basically that means talk to them. Okay. If you collect them and never send them an email, don't do any social media, don't invite them to events, you're not going to sell, right? But even more importantly, if you talk to them in the wrong way, you're at risk for scaring them away. I watch it. Many artists talk about their artwork in a way that scares away their future buyers and they don't even know it. Okay. So connecting is super important and we want to make sure we're doing it right. So what it feels like when we're doing this wrong. Okay. I feel like I'm being too salesy. Yeah, you might be. Okay. I have no idea what to say when someone says they like my art. Okay. So common, so normal, but you don't have to be stuck there. Okay. How do I get my audience to engage or respond? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm posting, but nobody's saying anything, right? There could be multiple things going on there, but a lot of times it's right here. It's in the connect part. Or if I hear things like this, I hate social media and all those changing algorithms. Okay. That if you're thinking those, we've found where we need to start working first. Okay. And if you don't fix this, your business is at risk for dying, for failing, okay? Because you may be scaring away your future buyers without even knowing it. But here's the great news. This is great news. You just need, get a little techie here, an aligned brand message. I'm talking everywhere you show up, visually, written, verbal. It's all aligned around the value of your product. Again, tomorrow we're going to be digging into this. It needs its own whole day to really start unpacking how important it is to collect and connect before you ever give your price, before you ever try to close a sale. And if you're skipping these two steps, we found your sales problem. Okay, so do this. You want to scare away your buyer? Start talking to them like they're an artist instead of an art lover. Start dropping all kinds of technical terms, cliches, reproductions, hand embellished prints. Start talking about impasto painting. Start talking about just start talking about, and you're going to see their eyes glaze over and okay. So huge change. And it's so important. So many art business owners are missing it. And so many people see huge impact in their sales, immediate increase when they just fix it. Just fix it. Okay. So we are talk about brand messaging. Okay. This slide is to remind me to tell you, I think I already did. Tomorrow, we're doing a deep dive on Collect and Connect. Okay, that's why tomorrow you have to be here tomorrow to understand what you need to do. And why I'm going to reiterate everything builds. Okay. The final one, close. Close. All right. Super important. Super important. Okay. We need to find the right people, communicate the value of our artwork so we can walk them down the path to the sale. Okay. Oh, let me just walk them down the path to the sale so that when we're making offers, they're pulling out their credit cards. And we already talked about this. If you do step 1 and step 2 really well, but you never make offers, no one knows that your artwork is for sale, then someone else is going to swoop in, make the offer and close the sale and think that was the easiest. They're going to be like, oh my God, that was so easy. And it's, yeah, because you did the heavy lifting of the sales and marketing and they closed it. Okay. So what it feels like when you're doing this wrong, like some of the things you might be thinking, oh, okay, I can't find galleries to represent me. Right? If you know how to close sales, if you are closing your own sales, galleries will knock on your door. They don't want to work with newbies. They're business owners. They got to pay rent. They got to keep the lights on. They got to pay for all kinds of stuff like gallery managers, and they don't have the time to work with artists who aren't selling. You want better galleries. You want higher level galleries. Show them that you know how to sell your artwork, okay, and that you sell at a premium price on your own, and they will come knocking on your door, okay? Number 2, I can't get into higher quality art shows. Same thing, okay? If you're only invited to coffee shops and church parking lots, okay, you need to get into higher shows that are investing, okay? Not necessarily, I mean, good luck. Maybe we can jump right into Laguna, or we can jump right into like the Kansas City Plaza. But I know for a fact that Kansas City, because I was part of the team who was learning what do we need to do to get like a local show, like to get shows working. Okay. So I worked with Kansas City one-on-one. They invest $1 million in advertising. Boom. They're getting the right people to see your artwork. Okay. If you want to get invited to those and you want to get accepted in those, make sure you have the resume, which includes the fact that you can sell. Okay. I only sell to friends and family, no new people. That's a big one. It's amazing that you're selling, but we have to have a system that allows for us to consistently find new people to replenish our pool of buyers. Okay. And if you're saying something like this, I feel like a dancing monkey in social media with like no sales or low sales, right? Usually this is where we're going to look. Okay. We're going to look at where you're selling, where your like events are, where you're inviting people. Okay. So here's the risk. If you don't fix this one, okay, you've got to fix it. And I'm going to come back here. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to stress out. If you're at that point, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, I can't do this anymore, okay? Here's the biggest risk. You're going to start hating sales. You're going to start resenting your artwork, and you're at risk for the whole thing imploding, including walking away from one of the things you were born to do, okay? So the solution here, you have to have a sales system. You have to have a roadmap, okay? And we're giving you the roadmap on Friday or on Wednesday, okay? So that's what we're talking about on Wednesday. You need a roadmap that consistently finds the leads that you need in your business so that you can talk to them, communicate the value of your offer, and then have them pulling out their credit cards, okay? You have to have that. You have to move from where you're only doing part of the system and wondering why it's not working. Like, I bought a brush, but I don't have a canvas, and I don't know why I don't have the masterpiece, okay? You have to go to the place where you're like, you're doing the whole process. And the great news here, okay, is you have the exact steps for creating a framework of sales that, okay, that I'm going to pop back here because this is the exciting part. That's going to allow for you to go on vacation and your machine is still finding leads and making automated offers to your new customers. So you're going to come back from vacation and have sales. Better yet, you're going to come back from vacations and as soon as, I know, the Monday after vacation, not always fun, but you're going to come back on Monday and you'll be like, I've got hundreds of new leads to talk to. Okay. You're going to be able to, when you have this, you're going to be able to shift and pivot with the market when crazy things happen. Like sometimes they're marketplace events, right? Sometimes they're this like wiggles in the stock market. You're like, well, I don't know what happened. Okay. Sometimes they're algorithms and you're like, I don't need that algorithm anymore. Great. Thanks, dude. The big metaverse. Thank you for making those shifts because you showed me I don't need you as much as you think I need you. And it's going to allow for you to be in your studio more creating artwork. Why? Because you have a system that you can either automate with tools or you can start hiring staff to do it for you. Okay. Because until you have a system, none of that is possible. Okay. So this, I know I geek out on this stuff because I just do. So this is the amazing stuff. Okay. You got to close. And this is Steffi. Okay. We talked about Steffi. I talked to her last October and she was telling me that she closed a couple sales in 2024 for, right around $200 a piece for a pet portrait or ocean art. You can see, look at her, like she does ocean art. She does pet portraits. She's just so energetic. Okay. But she's like, I just retired and I know that my artwork could bring in income and I'm like, well, how much would you like to make before the end of the year? Because it was October. And by the way, Q4 is the best selling season of the year. And she's like, well, if I could just make one sale a month, that's $600. I'd be happy. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, would you mind if I set a goal for you? And she's like, well, yeah, go for it. And I was like, okay. Pop back here. I was like, okay, so how about if we raise your price, we try to get it closer to $2,000. We'll start let's just get it to $1,000 and ultimately get it to $2,000 or more. And let's find 3 people every single month who want to buy that offer. And she rolled her eyes, right? She went, okay, right? I'm going to tell you, within 3 months, her price was at $1,800 and finding 3 people to buy her artwork isn't a problem. I talked to her last week. She's been working with us for over a year. And she's like, I'm coming up on 3K now. It is the same artwork. She has her skill set. Yes, because she's doing more artwork and practicing more. I mean, it's elevating, but that much elevating. Okay. She's already amazing. So she's elevating her skill set, but her bank account, because when we're like, why are you an artist? She's like, I want to travel. I'm a biology teacher. I want to be able to still leverage some of that science that's behind my teaching, my love for teaching. And she has all of that in her sales system. Okay. So it's just again, I geek out because when you have a system, you're able to move forward. Okay. But I'm going to warn you. Okay. There is a super high cost of doing nothing. Okay. Artists report that when they figure out their system, if they wait 2 years, they're like, oh my goodness, if I just would have had this 2 years ago, I would have had an extra $20,000 to $25,000 at least in those years. And I left $50K on the table. That's called opportunity cost. Okay. There's a high cost of doing nothing. And when we do nothing, we just stay stuck. That's when we're at risk for thinking our artwork isn't good enough. That's when we just keep promoting and thinking nothing's working. I'm going to walk away from a gold mine. That's when we don't do what we need to do to find the right people who want our artwork. That's when we don't create the content that magnetizes people instead of repels them. And that's when we start relying on just working hard, doing the wrong things instead of relying on our systems. We're going to start a Q&A session. I'm marking the time so that I can see what time it is. 2:19. So if you would like to ask questions and Katie or Shauna weren't able to answer those for you yet, okay, you can start by putting a Q in front of your question. I'm only going to the feed's probably going to jump pretty fast. So it's hard sometimes for me to catch everything. The easiest way for me to do it is if there's a Q in front of it. Okay. So put a Q in front of it, ask your question. Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to walk you through a little bit more housekeeping because as I promised during the challenge, You're going to have some homework, right? We've already posted. I'm looking really, really quickly. We've already posted inside of the Facebook group your homework question. If you would like feedback on the answer, post it in the group. I look at all of your comments, and then at midnight I stop looking at them. Okay, but if you post it today, I'm providing feedback and support inside of the Facebook group. Okay, what would you love to have happen in your art business this year? Okay, share, and it's super helpful if you give me a sales goal. Like, that'd be really great if I could make $5K a month. It'd be really great. Like, again, this is a safe place. This is a community of people who are walking the same path. Okay. You may not be as far along on the path as someone else. Okay. Or you may be further ahead than someone else. And we're all here supporting one another because we're artists and we're creative. And that's what we were placed on this earth to do. Okay. Number 2, just housekeeping again. You have tons of support here. Okay. Even though this is the free zone, this is the 1 week during the year that my team and we are hyper-focused on making sure you understand the foundations so that you can uncover what you need to be doing to sell more artwork. Okay. Period. You have these Facebook Lives. Okay. If you can come to the Facebook Lives, you're going to get more support than if you watch it in replay, but that's okay. We know life happens. Okay. We're actually going to be talking the rest of this week. There's a segment where work-life balance, we talk about that and why what we're doing is critical to help balance out work-life balance. Okay. So the question, come to the meetings. Number 2, post your questions in the Facebook group, right? They pop up at the top for me. We'll answer the questions. We'll direct you to where you need to go. Okay. Number 3, let me grab my notes. On Friday of this week, we're doing a bonus. Okay. I'm going to have a closed door Zoom call where everybody's going to be in the big Zoom room and we're going to be looking at your businesses. Okay. It's called a laser focus training on Friday. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Friday, Zoom room. We'll be sending out the link tomorrow so that you can get to that meeting. Okay. Great meeting. Mark your calendar now. If you have lunch plans, move them. Okay. Mobile Help Hub. We're going to be sharing more about the Mobile Help Hub. Let me see. I think I have. Here's the laser focus coaching session, the Mobile Help Hub. You have the ability, if you want, to be on the Mobile Help Hub. Many of you are. If you already gave us your phone numbers, then you have the ability to do this. You can just simply text us. Go into the phone number that gives you all the reminders and say, I have a question. Okay. We check that on a daily basis. So if you have something more private that you want to talk about, that's what I would use this for. If you're just going to ask a question like, do you have replays? I'm going to be like, oh, that answer's in the group. Okay. But that Mobile Help Hub is a more like, it's just more private place. But make sure the questions you're answering are appropriate. Okay. So if they're just questions that you could have found in the workbook, I'm going to be like, it's in the workbook. Okay. So cool. Then what else? Just make sure I have everything. Oh, you also, from a support standpoint, have the ability to grab that VIP call. We're doing that at 3 p.m. That's like in 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes. Okay. I'm going to grab a potty break, grab like a little snack, and then I'm going to be working with the VIPs who want help with implementation. Every single day, there's new training, new content. We're going to unpack it and then start applying it to our businesses. Okay. So that's over 7 hours with me one-on-one. That's additional 30-day access to the training content after the challenge is over. And I've also pulled out content from the Art Boss Academy, including tools, okay? Tools that you need in order to run your business, okay? You can do all this manually if you want to, but if I hear someone complaining like it's exhausting, all I ever do, like it's too many hours, then why aren't you using the tools? Many of them are free. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. We're going to be talking about that too. That's in the VIP. That offer is going away tonight, okay, because like we're working together for 5 days. After tomorrow, we're in it, okay? So bringing in new people doesn't work very well, okay? So it's $67 for all of that. You can click on that link and you can sign up for the VIP, okay? So the bonus, like little angels are singing. Every single day that you join, we're going to be giving you a bonus. And every day it gets better and better because the content that we're talking about becomes more specific, and it becomes like the tools that we're giving are like higher level and in like super smack. Okay. So here it is. We want you to be on the mobile help hub, and this is how you can get on it too. And if you're already on it, then great. Okay. I want you to text the word me, M-E, to 513-654-1775. And we're going to be sending you an art software sales checklist. So let me reframe that. Art sales software. What software do you need to sell your artwork? Online and offline, my friends. If you're like, well, I don't need a software checklist, I sell in galleries and at shows. Oh, yeah, well, you do. Yeah, you do. That's what you're missing. Okay. So if you would like that list, okay. So I'm going to be giving you the list. You're going to be able to download that list and everything. And what we're doing tomorrow and Friday is we're going to be starting to talk more about the tools that you need. So getting this checklist ahead of time can be really helpful. You might even want to go out there and start Googling them and seeing what they are so that you can get even more results from tomorrow's training. Hint, hint. Okay. So just text the word me to this phone number, 513-654-1775. Immediately, as soon as you text it, it's an automation. You're going to get a note from us saying, here's your checklist. Okay. So it's great stuff. And then forevermore, you're like, you can just text questions to us. Okay. So, all right. We're kind of coming down the home stretch before we take the rest of our questions. Okay. Have been win moments. Okay. So here's the thing about working in a community of people. We have to measure our results by claiming sometimes the smaller wins that happen along the way. If we only consider ourselves successful, and a lot of artists go, my sales goal is to make $1 million. I'm like, okay, we can show you exactly how to do that. If your only goal, like you're only measuring your win when you make $1 million, you're going to feel like a failure when you're making 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 750,000. Okay. So the point is we need to collect our wins, and here they are. Here are the ones I gave you today. Okay. I want you, okay. You're claiming it right now. Write it down. Remember kinetic learning. I'm going to stop blaming my art for my lack of sales. My art is amazing. My art is important. And like, it's amazing. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, it's time. Okay. Stop blaming your artwork for your lack of sales. That's a big win moment. Some of us don't realize we're doing it. Okay. All right. Second win moment. When you realize that your sales problem is not your price. Because when you're running a sales system where you're communicating the value of your artwork, you can walk your beautiful future art buyer down the path to the sale like it's the most natural thing in the world. And when you make your offer at the price that reflects the value, they're going to be pulling out their credit cards. They're going to be jumping on waiting list. They're going to be saying, tell me more here, like give it to me now. Okay. Huge win moment. And the very big win that I want you to walk away with today is you're not making a mistake. You're just missing a system for sales so that your posting is finding new buyers, so that your website is closing more sales, and so that you have a list of buyers who are getting ready to pull out their credit cards. Okay. I mean, that's it. That's it. Okay. KKK. All right. I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm going to pop over here. I need to go over to my Facebook and find, I think my timestamp was 2:19. So give me a minute and got to put my readers on. Okay. 2:19. All right. I think I found the first cue. If I miss you, just post it again at the bottom. Everything's kind of starting to jump. Okay, Laura, how many hours of online marketing would you estimate it would make to $200,000 annually selling painting and prints? Amazing. I'm going to ask you, Laura, are you in the VIP package? Because if you are, That's exactly what we'll unpack today. We can do the math. We can do the math. It's all math. It's all math. And I'm so excited. Great question. I'm so used to like, where's the workbook? Um, and if you want to get there faster with less work, then we can make the plan for raising your price and getting to that 200,000 even faster. Okay, love it. Thank you. I mean, amazing. Okay. Question. Can we paint images from Midjourney? I read it's copyright free, but unsure. You know, there are tons of places where you can get like images and inspiration images that you are not copyrighted. Okay. If you want a whole list, then grab a call with me. There's a charge for that call because I'm going to have to do all the research. But the reality is that's not what you have to worry about. Okay. That's not what you have to worry about. And if you're worried about it, go out and take your own photographs. Okay. So I'm like, Suzanne, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Worry about finding people who want to buy your artwork. Okay. So if you read it's copyright free, then I'd go for it. Awesome. Sorry, took a little side thing here. Okay, Q. CJ, perfect. I want to create art. Yay. But I find myself trying to learn new tech, edit pictures, convert pictures, my artwork digital, setting up websites, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get it. Any advice, someone who hasn't used technology in 15 years? Yes. Work with someone who'll show you how to do that and get it done in a matter of weeks. That would be my suggestion. We're here for you. Okay. So tomorrow and Wednesday, I'm going to show you like the big picture of what you need. And then for those of you who want to continue working with us, whether you want us to build all this for you, we can do all that for you, or we'll show you how to do it. Okay. So it's totally up to you. Susan, awesome. Which sites do you think work best for putting artwork on to be seen the most? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Well, that's actually Wednesday. That's about our platforms. That's about closing sales. Okay, so perfect question. We'll talk about that pretty much a little bit tomorrow, but mostly on Wednesday because it's a great question. What size paintings are better, large ones or smaller ones? Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter. It matters more what you like to do. Yes. Picking a size of artwork that you're going to paint on. Yeah. Pick what you love, because if you love it, you're going to stand in front of your audience. And when you tell people how much it is, you're going to be more confident about it. Boom. That's what it is. Okay. Q. I'm looking for a Q in front of it. Should I focus on selling only one art form, or is it better to have a variety? Okay, so that's a really great question. Again, CJ, I don't know if you're in the VIP package, but we would take a look at your business as it is currently, and we would start talking about which is better for your business, because it's just a business choice. Some artists have multiple products, like variety of products, and some just are like super narrow. It's really the question: should I have a niche market, or should I have a more diversified product market? And the reality is, it's based on what you want to do and based on like so many more factors. So a great question for VIP, and so like the short answer, do what you love most. Just like what size should I paint on? Do what size you love most. What kind of art form should I do? Do the ones you love the most. Okay. So that's really all it comes down to, because it's back to that believing that your artwork transforms the world. Okay. Is it best to sell prints of artwork that we're selling over and over? Okay. Again, it really comes down to, it's your choice. Your business model, which business model do you want to set up? Okay, so I personally love original artwork, and then I love prints because they allow for you to sell more artwork after your original is sold. Okay, hope that helps. I'm so diverse, I can't help it. Print on demand. Perfect, but I'm not sure there was a question. I'm so diverse, cannot help it. Print on demand. There's no question there, but I think you're asking, like a lot of people are like, should I do print on demand? Sure. You can do print on demand. Again, do what you love. Do what you love. Sell what you love. If you don't believe in your product and you don't love your product, no one else will. All right. Awesome. Is that it? Really? Awesome. Perfect. All right, you guys. So let me pop back here. Okay. Let me pop back here. Put these up here because I can see fine here. Just can't read. Okay. Tomorrow we're hitting it hard. Okay. There's a couple things that you need to do. Make sure you're in the group. Okay. I'm also going to tell you, if you have an art friend who you're like, they would really need this, all you need to do is invite them to the group. Okay. So there's a nice little invite button. If you wanted to invite them, you can. It'll tell me who invited them. And there might be a little sweet gift headed your way if you invite people to join the group. Okay. So we're sending you email reminders. We're sending you some of like secret gifts in email. So make sure you're opening the emails. A little caveat, if you unsubscribe, then you're not going to be able to get some of the gifts and some of the training that we're sending out. Okay. So just kind of heads up, if you've unsubscribed, maybe that's a good time to reach out to me and say, I would like for you to put me back on the email list, because once you unsubscribe, I can't undo that. Okay. Like in like business integrity, it's like once you unsubscribe, then I can't be like, oh, I'm going to pop you back in, not without your permission. But if you give me your permission, then I can do that. That's about it for today, guys. You rock and rolled. I can't wait to see all the rest of the comments. I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the mom. Oh, we're going to be talking about the finding your future buyer and walking them down the path to the sale. Crazy, amazing stuff. There'll be a gift headed your way, as well as just fun, right? Because if this isn't fun, then it's not worth it. Okay. That's it. You guys have a great one. You VIP members. Okay. It's right about, I have about 20 minutes, I think. Yep. Ish. I'll be back in the VIP room. It is a Zoom room. You've received the link to the Zoom room in a text, in an email. It's on your dashboard. Okay. So it's like we've given it out to you. We want you to have it. If you don't know where it is, then put in the group, I'm a VIP member. I need my link. And I'm going to send it to you in Messenger because I want to keep this group really small. If you paid for this, you're going to get huge, huge benefits. All right. Love it. See you guys soon. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.